uh, during the Christmas season. It's been kind of, well, let's put it this way, between Thanksgiving and December 24th was kind of a fast turnaround this time compared to last year, and I was feeling like I was behind the eight ball. And really, there wasn't a lot of content to put out there. So, I put out there what we were doing and stuff like that, and some news that was out there, but that's about it. Want to say that episode 5 of Skeleton Crew, I'm going to give you a spoiler, was really good. And I think WDW Pro was on my money laundering video that hasn't gotten a lot of play. And I want to address him. First of all, I know it's you because when you open your mouth, even when you're posting something, you sound like a condescending phony fuck. Okay, so Pro, stay off. You've been told. You were banned from this for threatening Cameron. Okay, I had to ban this latest iteration of your bullshit. You're not telling the truth here, subscribers. You make a lot of money off of misinformation. You know better than CNN or MSNBC as far as telling people what the news really is. You're a dishonest, disingenuine hack. And what you said about what I could glom off of this because you're such a coward, you took the thing you posted and then deleted it so I couldn't read everything. Well, fuck off. Okay, I know it was you because of the wording. Like I said, you can't get out of your own goddamn way. Okay. And frankly, you are telling people lies about the Acolyte or lies about the Skeleton Crew. It's doing fine. Now, from what we've been told by Sparrow, Christmas Eve was going to be a hard one to sell because it's on Christmas. Hey, Mike. Yes, he is. But I watched it. A lot of people watched it. They thought it was great. You just make this look. That Park Place exists for one purpose, is to make a bunch of grifters who aren't who they say they are a lot of money, and they're not telling you the truth about the ratings. They're not telling you. I mean, Alan Bergman himself said Skeleton Crew was a pleasant surprise. Okay. Well, you know what? Part of that isn't public knowledge because he said it in an interview on I think it was Hollywood Reporter or Variety that got it. Okay, so you can go and watch WDW Pro so you can pretend like wokeness is never leaving. Hey, Kim. Yes, I did have a good Christmas. I did. Did you? Hello, Sumi. Just remember, no trolling. Yeah, well, here's the deal. If you're watching Skeleton Crew and the show lags, there are a lot of people getting on to watch. Okay, it's a good show. Just anecdotal evidence, kids love it. All right, and this last one was unbelievable. So when WDW Pro puts out lies like he did, and all that, just take it with a grain of salt. He's not there to tell you the truth. He's there to enrich himself and to build his power base because he's a narcissist. Okay, the guy's a narcissist. All right. So anyway, want to talk a little bit about, all right, episode 5. Episode 5 was great. Hey, Cross, how you doing? Okay. All right. You have a good, safe trip to Arizona. And I hope you had a Merry Christmas, Cross. Okay. So anyway, and I don't blame you for moving to Arizona, but if I were you, I probably would have moved to Texas or Wyoming or Montana because Katie Hobbs and their elections are just, they might as well call themselves a third world dictatorship like Nigeria. I mean, that's the way they run Arizona anyway. So episode 5, Skeleton Crew. The more I watch it, the more Jude Law's character. Hey, Dave. The more Jude Law's character becomes a favorite. I don't know what it is about him, but he's kind of a mixed version of. That's awesome, Kim. He's kind of a mixed version of like Han Solo, Lando Calrissian, and Quinlan Voss. Okay, and I mean, I don't care what anyone says. The end of the show, when he reaches out and that lightsaber comes to him, he's a Jedi. He's a fallen Jedi. Order 66 or something, but he's definitely a Force user. Okay, so, and he's just a really interesting, unique character. The kids are all great. No, so-called same-sex couple bullshit floating around. And it was, we found out what the ship is called. Something, I can't remember the first part, but something Cinder, Captain Rendar, who sounded to me like a psychopath. Okay, very interesting, legendary. These kids, got onto a ship that was legendary. Oh, run by captained by a guy who was basically, it sounds to me like Pablo Escobar. I ain't kidding. I've already watched it twice. I might watch it again tonight. What else? So yeah, I mean, it was. They go to this place. It ends up being, it was the captain's lair until it was a spa. They bribe their way into it through the Old Republic credits. And basically, Jad Nanawood, who's got another name now, he was confronted by a bounty hunter when they were checking in. And she's scary looking. She's creepy. Oh yeah, he will. He's a he's a great character. And he's a little bit more on the dark side than Han Solo. Han Solo would never do this. He wouldn't do this. He wouldn't do what he's doing. But now what's greedy? Okay, there's something about him that he's just that. So anyway, he gets confronted by this bounty hunter named Pocket. Pocket is. I hope they come up with a figure for her, because she probably make Boba Fett nervous. I mean, she's got reptile eyes. They're just creepy. So you've got her, and she calls Brutus and the pirates, and they show up and start chasing the kids in Nowwood through the underground lair. And the Nowwood decides, I'm going to challenge the captain for the captaincy. So Fern finally relents. Nowwood basically then tells SM-33 to time up, they mutinied. So SM-33 does it, and then the kids escape. And that was the end. And then you see Nowwood reach out for the lightsaber. Okay. It's all very, really well written. There's a great video, there's a great channel on here, and I can't remember the name of it. And it's basically, Baz sent me a link to one of the channels about how the original trilogy and how the prequels, they kept the story going forward. No flashbacks, no basically each character just carried the story forward. You got Vader showing up, Leia getting captured, the droid showing up on Tatooine, passing the torch, the baton to Luke, who goes chases the droids down, and meets up with Obi-Wan, and there's nothing to hold it back. And what the guy did very cleverly was he brought up all the bad things that the sequels did to Star Wars, and like flashbacks and The Last Jedi, uh, and other things from The Force Awakens. All right, and this video was made like 5 years ago, so it's a pretty cool thing. So I'm going to probably do a review of it and put a link on there, uh, maybe later today. Um, oh, they have, I think, the kid figures, but I want a Nawood figure. I want a pocket figure. All right. Um, I know I've seen the kid figures somewhere. Anyway, I would say look on Amazon. Maybe they already have them out. Um, thing about it is the buzz has been low key, but it's still getting viewed. Okay, despite what that lying gaslighting piece of crap WDW Pro and that Park Place have been puking out there. All right, we're all the lies that are fit to tell, so you pay us money, and super chats and AdSense money and thank you money, you know. Oh, I love it. All right, I'll give you mine. I'm Germany. Fröhliche Weihnachten, or Buon Natale, that's Italian. Um, and I can't remember what Merry Christmas in French is, but God Yule is Norwegian. Okay, so Merry Christmas back at you, Steve. It's good to have the Irish represented here. I've been to Ireland before. I loved it. I had a great time. We drove from Cork to Dingle, and I thought we were going to die. Because, first off, Americans are not used to driving that way, and the roads are so narrow. It was just, but we had a blast. I mean, we just had a blast. We went to Dingle, then we went to Waterford, stayed in the castle, and we went to Dublin. And I bought the entire book of W.B. Yeats's poems when we were in Dublin. What I'd like to go back. I really would. I'd like to go back to Ireland. I'd like to go back to England, and I want to see Scotland. I haven't seen Scotland, and I need to go to Waterford. Okay, cool, excellent. I loved Waterford. We had a blast. We went to the glass factory, and it was in '97. So you can imagine is after the Packers won their first Super Bowl in 30 years. And one of the glass factory, one of the guys that was making, I don't know, he was making a glass or something or a vase, was wearing a Packer t-shirt. And we're like, go Pack! And he's like, it was great. It was great. And I have to admit, we stayed at Waterford Castle, and it was the first time I'd actually tried Irish whiskey, and I could actually kind of tolerate it. All right, okay, cool, that's great. All right, I'm gonna get Jode at least, maybe Brutus too. Anyway, so, all right, so back to Skeleton Crew. It seems to me that Alan Bergman is happy with it. Sparrow has said that they're happy with the viewing. They did expect to see it dip a little bit because Christmas Eve, though I watched it, we had Christmas. All right, so we went to 4 o'clock mass, the kids' mass, vigil mass, and I brought my mother-in-law here from mass. She was staying with us, and we did appetizers. We had my brother-in-law and his girlfriend come over to show off the Christmas trees. I have 8 Christmas trees. Okay, just so you guys are aware. And the house is all dressed up and ready. It looks great. And when they left, my husband isn't feeling good. He's got a cold, caught it from a coworker. He's taking a nap right now, actually. So everybody went to sleep except me, and I just sat and drank wine and watched Skeleton Crew, and then I watched it again last night, and I'm probably gonna watch it again tonight. Loved it, loved it. So, and so yesterday we normally open presents on Christmas Eve. All right, we didn't this time. I got, let's see, I got a picture of a brown bear laying on its side. I'll show it to you. You come with me. I'll show it to you. A brown bear laying on its side because it reminds me an awful lot of Kojak. And if you're a newbie, you don't know who Kojak is. I'll show him to you. He's my big dog. But we went to Cabela's and I saw this, and I loved it because it reminds me of Kojak, who, we'll go over here, you can meet. There is Kojak. He has a 130-pound Shiloh Shepherd and is being very good right now. But he does have that look, doesn't he? So anyway, I got a set of pajamas from my husband. That picture. What else? I got a bunch of stuff from my mother-in-law. And I'll show you something else. You may call me Joan Bond. Yeah, so I got a Walther PPK 380, which is down, locked up in this safe downstairs because when we had to go to see my sister-in-law, and we did not want to have someone break in the house and steal a gun. Okay, so I mean, you just things like that. You do your due diligence and you put them away where they belong to be put away. So I did pretty good. I ordered a pair or the Douay Reams Bible for my husband, and it's still not here, and it should have been here on Christmas Eve, and it from Amazon. It didn't show up. I also ordered a set of champagne glasses from the Trump Vineyard in Virginia, and a cocktail glass, a bourbon glass from the Trump Vineyard for my best friend and her husband. And I don't even know if it went through. So I put an email to them. If I have to, I'll call them in a bit. It's 12:57 right now, so I'll call them after I'm done talking to you guys. But I'm kind of worried about it. They took the money. I don't know. So anyway, what else is going on? Skeleton Crew was great. Oh, this is what I want to talk about. This is why I'm talking about Star Trek right now. Apparently, according to Matt McGloin, CosmicBook.com, Star Trek Below Decks officially erases Star Trek Discovery from the timeline, the official timeline. They did a trick where I think these Klingons go to this place and everything in this place is from Star Trek Discovery. Like the Klingons look that way and I'm not familiar with it, but it kind of reflects what we could see for Star Wars with Anakin Skywalker in the World Between Worlds. And that's coming. Okay, it's very interesting to me that it's coming, it's happening. I'm shocked because isn't Kurtzman still running the show, or did he leave? I don't know. I don't pay any attention to it. I just thought did to Discovery what we've heard they're going to do to the sequel trilogy, put it in its own timeline, and then forget about it. Okay. So that's fine with me. I mean, that's perfectly fine with me. I don't care. But anyway, I want to talk about that because I thought it was interesting. What else? Nothing really. I mean, Christmas was quiet. It was a fairly good Christmas. Had a lot of fun. But like I said, it was pretty tame. You know, and there you go. I mean, New Year's Eve should be fun. I've got a bottle of champagne. I might go get, I don't know, something really fun and exotic for dinner that night. I don't know, but anyway. But yeah, like, okay, back to Skeleton Crew. Like in the beginning, we see Wim's dad they're trying to get a message out past the barrier to the rest of the galaxy to help find the kids. And he gets it. He gets this chart. It looks basically like a jerry rigged thumb drive. All right, from Neil's mom, and it goes. He goes to do it. Droid picks him up. Droid reports him to Fern's mom, who's like, "We have to take our time. We have to do this the right way." Blah blah blah. Wem's dad's like, "They're not going to help us. This is not. It's not going to work. This is not going to work." So you got that going on, okay? And that's how the show starts out. What I like is that, like Star Wars. Oh, that would be cool, Mike. Like the Star Wars original trilogy and the prequels, there's nothing that pulls you out, or there aren't any flashbacks. It's just linear storytelling, which and it's clear storytelling. Which is what people like. It was consciously set up to be that way. Okay, which is really I think what makes it work really well. Okay, so there you go. I'm having fun with it. I mean, if you don't look, if you're a WDW fan and you need your hate fix, you're not going to get one here. Okay. Skeleton Crew is good as far as I'm concerned. I see nothing about it that is bad storytelling, bad acting, wooden dialogue, and it's just look on YouTube. You've got a lot of people, and they're all big channels, who have never made a movie in their lives, who you know those who can't criticize, right? I mean, that's the rule. And that's what they do. I mean, look, no one's ever thought Pro or Valiant or the fake James O'Keefe could ever make a movie. And they don't want to learn how movies are made. They're not well versed in literature. They're not well versed in storytelling. I have a minor in literature. Okay, I sometimes think I would like to get a master's in film history. Okay, because it's interesting to me. Okay, worthless master's degree, I know, but it's interesting. These guys aren't aware of any of this. They might as well be Democrats and leftists because they sound stupid when they open their mouths. Well, Sentai, I don't do Power Rangers. That came a little after my time. I was a teenager, and meh. You know, I mean, I'm glad they're making the movie, but I'm not. You know, I'm Star Wars, Indiana Jones, Ghostbusters, Lord of the Rings person. This is a Star Wars channel, a George Lucas channel. Okay. And if I do talk about another movie like Ghostbusters or something like that, it's that's the topic then, and it'll be in the title. And that's why I talked about Star Trek. I'm not a Star Trek fan. I love the OG with Shatner and Nimoy, but the reason why Star Wars resonates with me is because there's a spiritual element to it, and it's not based strictly on impersonal science, you know. So, I mean, anyway, what was I talking about? Okay, well, whatever. Geez, now I forgot my train of thought. Darn, anybody, what was I talking about? Could someone jump in and explain to me? I was talking about Skeleton Crew. You know, and Skeleton Crew compared to Ahsoka, I think it's actually in lots of ways better than Ahsoka because it's better thought out, and you don't see any sort of meddling from Kathleen Kennedy. And actually, this is another piece of information I think you guys need to know. Ahsoka is going to be filmed in Great Britain starting next July, is when they go start filming. And I don't know if it's to stay away from the DEI or to stay away from meddling. Well, the mixed reviews are lies. It's good. If you're getting mixed reviews, look, I'm going to give you some advice. If you go to Nerdrotic, Ryan Cannell, Geeks and Gamers, WDW Pro, and That Park Place, they're all going to lie to you about the show. They're going to tell you the ratings are bad, and they're not. They're going to tell you that it's not helping Star Wars. It is. They made money off of a so-called same-sex parenting couple, which, if you watch episode 3, you're going to be like, I don't really get that from them. That could be a friend backing up her best friend, or aunts, or sisters-in-law. Okay, it could be anything. Chris Gore, who I have a lot of respect for, said it was a same-sex couple because that's what he got out of it. But if you watch episode 3, you won't get that vibe because I didn't. You know, I thought episode 3 was fine. I actually think episode 5 is better. I mean, I was like blown away by it. Jude Law is a really good actor. He has been through the whole thing. The girl that plays Fern, she's going places. And so is the kid that plays Wim. When he goes up and tries to save Fern and he's got that lightsaber, and he sets it up and it basically like freaks out on him and he goes flying. That was a Star Wars move, in my opinion. He did what you would see a guy in Star Wars try to do. Okay, and look, here's the refreshing thing about it. There aren't any Mary Sues. All right, there are no Mary Sues. And that's the good thing. Okay, now going back to Ahsoka, why is Jon Favreau and Dave Filoni, why are they taking the production of Ahsoka to Britain? Well, we've got a bunch of different volume stages. We've got countryside that would look like Peridia, right? We've got, I think, I think laws there that don't force DEI shit. It's really interesting if you're on X, and the more that gets revealed about DEI hiring practices, the and the businesses that do it, you see how they're struggling. Okay, because if you base it on merit, you'll probably do well. If you base it strictly on race quotas, which are illegal in the United States now, because affirmative action was overturned, you're gonna suffer because you put people who aren't qualified into positions they can't deal with. Okay, that's just the truth. Elon got himself in trouble by saying Americans that are born here are not really well trained in the technology trades. He's right. And when he says we should have the best and brightest come here to the United States, become citizens, and work here in that industry, and people took him wrong. To me, immigration is a privilege. It's not a right. You don't have a right to come here. All right, being an American is a privilege. It is not a right. And I really think European countries, Ireland especially, and others should remember that because they're getting overrun. All right, they're just, frankly. Anyway, but back to Ahsoka. So they're going to film it in England, and I don't know what their DEI hiring is, but it looks to me like they want to get the production away from California. And California has a law that you have to hire a you have to diversify in how you hire directors, actors, writers, etc., to the point where it hurts the production. It Political correctness basically hurts creativity. Okay, and Sylvester Stallone has said that. He got in trouble with Jimmy Kimmel, who started a big kerfuffle with him, and then tried to apologize, and Sly told him to go to hell. Anyway, and he's right. I think he's right. The only place I've ever seen diversity in this case work is the TV show Shrinking from Apple TV Plus. It's a good show. It's got a very diverse cast. There are characters I don't like but that it's just a natural dislike, and it's the Karen from across the street, Liz.